Hi, welcome to Eric's Movie Corner. I'm Eric, and I'm here to talk about movies. Let's do it. Today we're going to be talking about the 1984 Christmas horror cult classic, Silent Night, Deadly Night. This film had quite a bit of controversy surrounding it when it was first released in 1984. They had commercials running during prime time, which depicted someone dressed as Santa carrying an axe, and it terrified children, and parents were not happy about that one bit. So a bunch of them organized and started picketing in front of theaters that were showing this movie, asking that it be pulled. Ultimately, they got their way, and after 2 weeks, this movie was pulled from theaters. It had been in limited release and was planned to release wide as Christmas approached. It had a $1 million budget, and actually in the 2 weeks that it was in theaters pulled in $2 million, so it did make a small profit. However, they estimate that if it had gone wide as planned, it probably would have pulled in around $20 million, which would have been pretty nifty in 1984. So this movie is regarded by people who haven't seen it as just another slasher that can be disregarded. I disagree. I think this is a superior slasher. I think it has quite great character development of Billy, our main character, from childhood to adulthood, and ultimately the events that transpire. We get to watch Billy go on his journey of trauma, which ultimately leads to him going on a killing spree. So for that, I think this movie is better than most slashers. There's also the whole Christmas element of it, which doesn't make it better, but for me makes it more fun. Yeah, so after we get past the spoiler flag, I'm going to run through some clips to show you Billy's trauma journey. I'm not going to show you any of the kills in this movie because YouTube frowns upon such things. However, I will say that there are several unique kills in this movie, one of which involves Linnea Quigley. Those of you that are horror movie fans will recognize that name. She is an attractive blonde woman who in the 80s was not shy about taking her top off in horror movies, much to the delight of many young men. There's a scene where her character gets killed, and it's one of my favorite kills ever. So yeah, I would recommend it. This movie I found during the 90s. During the 80s, we didn't have a VCR in my house. And I wasn't old enough to go see horror movies in the theaters. So during the late 90s, I kind of ran through the Blockbuster and caught up on a bunch that I hadn't seen, including this one. This was kind of hard to find for a while. There was a DVD that I picked up in the mid-2000s, and then that was out of print for quite some time. And then eventually, Scream Factory, bless their souls, came out with a collector's edition Blu-ray for this movie. And I pre-ordered it along with a limited edition action figure for Billy, which lives in my house and makes me happy every time I look at it. So yeah, I would recommend getting the collector's edition if you're into that kind of thing. The action figure is sadly no longer available. But if you're not into physical media or collector's things, I would go. It's rentable on Amazon right now. So check it out, go watch the movie, and then come back and putting the spoiler flag up now, because I'm going to run through some clips to show you this character development I was talking about, which I think is done pretty well. All right, so we're past the flag, going to run through some clips. We start with Billy as a young child, and they are going to visit his grandfather in some sort of home. Billy's grandpa is catatonic, does not move, does not talk to anybody, at least not until they leave him alone with Billy. After everybody leaves the room right here, Grandpa starts talking.
Grandpa? Mom!
What you want her for? She can't help you. Nobody can. You scared, ain't you?
Grandpa's pretty creepy.
You should be. Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. You know what happens Christmas Eve, don't you? You know all about Santa Claus
He brings presents to all good boys and girls.
Your daddy told you that, didn't he? Well, I tell you something. Santa Claus only brings presents to them that's been good all year. To the ones that ain't done nothing naughty. All the other ones. All the naughty ones. He punishes. What about you, boy? You've been good all year? You see Santa Claus tonight? You better run, boy. You better run for your life.
Love that delivery.
Time to go home, Billy.
And then everybody comes in the room, and Grandpa's back to being catatonic. So at this point, Billy's just been told by his grandpa that in addition to giving presents to good boys and girls, Santa also punishes the naughty. And on the way home, wouldn't you know it, that a person dressed as Santa, who's just robbed a gas station, stops their car and murders Billy's parents right in front of him. So he now has confirmation that Santa punishes naughty people and is left without his parents. Because he has no parents, he's put into an orphanage. This one's a Catholic orphanage run by nuns. And the Mother Superior there is quite the strict one. She believes in corporal punishment, which is depicted in this movie. So be warned if that might be a trigger. But she is, there's another sister, Sister Margaret, who is trying to understand Billy's trauma and saying that the fact that he saw his parents murdered by somebody dressed as Santa has really messed him up. And Mother Superior is like, oh, pish posh, and is convinced that her tough love approach will straighten Billy out. In this scene right here, she's talking about how great her methods are and how she's going to straighten Billy out.
You will have no more trouble with him. You will see how well my methods work. We still have our annual Christmas visit from Santa Claus. William will sit on Santa Claus' lap and behave. You'll see. Lily, out of the way. You will learn gratitude. Say thank you to Santa Claus.
No!
Man, Billy packs a hell of a punch for a little kid.
What the hell's wrong with that kid?
What the hell's wrong with that kid, indeed? A lot is the answer to that question. So, we actually get a title card at one point saying 10 years later, 1984, and Billy is now 18 years old. He has the body of a grown man and gets a job at a toy store, which seems to be working out okay until it gets to be Christmas time. The person they hired as Santa has to call off because he broke his ankle, and Billy is forced to dress up as Santa and have the children sit on his lap, and it doesn't go well.
Stop. Please stop it. What's the matter with you? Please. Stop it. Please stop it. What's the matter with you? Stop it. Stop kicking.
Frankly, this would be me if I was forced to do this
What you're
too.
doing. You're being naughty. Right on Santa's lap. I don't bring toys to naughty children. I punish them severely. That's right. Stop it. Or I'll have to punish you.
He sure knows how to handle kids. He's great, isn't he?
He's great, isn't he? Yeah, we'll see. After they lock up the store on Christmas Eve, the staff breaks out the booze and starts partying. And then here, Billy's a little bit sloshed himself, and he's watching the girl he likes make out with somebody else, and he has this interaction with his boss, which ultimately pushes him towards the tipping point.
Hey, Santa Claus. Hey, what you doing, huh?
I was, thinking about my parents.
Oh, good. That's fine. That's fine. A boy should think about his parents at Christmas. Good boy.
They're dead.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. Hey, Santa! Santa, you better sober up. You got a long night ahead of you.
Huh?
You remember what Santa Claus does on Christmas Eve, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he remembers.
Yes.
Remembers what Santa did
Better
to his
get
parents.
started. Fucking party's dead anyway. Go get him, Santa. Go get him.
Maybe encouragement was not the best move here. So at this point, Billy follows the amorous couple back into the storeroom, and he actually has a flashback to the night his parents were murdered, and that pushes him over the edge, and he begins his killing spree. So, I'm not going to show you any of the kills because they'll get blocked by YouTube, but there are some good ones along the way, and also, hilariously, Billy, while he's going around killing people on Christmas Eve, is also yelling, "Naughty!" and "Punish!" Which is, if you watch this with your friends, I guarantee you'll all end up yelling those things at each other and laughing hilariously at some point. It's quite a hoot. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, I recommend it. It's a personal favorite. Buy the Blu-ray if you're into physical media, because they also added some scenes back in. They're lower quality, as you might have noticed in that last clip, but they retrieved them out of storage. They had not been stored properly, so the quality wasn't great. But the Blu-ray does have all that original footage put back in, which includes a couple of gore scenes as well, if you're into that kind of thing. It also has some interesting special features about the controversy surrounding the movie. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Thanks for stopping by to listen to me talk about it. If you enjoyed this, please give me a like below. Comment if you have something to say. And also, please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll see everything I post. And if you want to be notified the second I do that, hit the bell and you'll be notified when it happens. Thanks for stopping by Eric's Movie Corner. Come back next time.